Mathura is believed to be the birthplace of Lord Krishna, a belief marked by this temple. The city has long attracted pilgrims, including sadhus, wandering holy men, and Krishna devotees from across the world. This is the site of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It's a relatively new Hindu movement, which now has around 500 centers in 108 countries, and it admits followers who are not born into Hinduism.
It has a mood of peace, serenity, and at the same time very intense ecstasy. And that's the nature of Krishna, because God, he's all attractive. Krishna means he who is all attractive. My guru said that Krishna consciousness was the highest level of spiritual realization. Because we have this grounding, we have this knowledge which gives us the proper perspective on everything, and the experience of that knowledge, then no matter what happens in our life, we can relate to it in such a way we can maintain that peace and equanimity.
In the heart of India's capital city, Delhi, is the Sri Lakshmi Narayan Temple. It was completed in 1939, and the building was funded by the Birla family of industrialists. The doors are open to members of all castes, which is why Mahatma Gandhi agreed to inaugurate the temple. The presiding deity here is Lakshmi Narayan. The temple is dedicated to Lord Narayan and his consort, the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, and they are worshipped in the daily aarti.
The meaning of the word aarti is to look at God with humility. When singing the praises of God, there is no place for pride. One must humble oneself. In ancient times, there was no electricity. You used fire for light. So, in an aarti, we use fire so that people can look at and meditate on the benign image of God. When we see his form, then our concentration on him is increased. Whether it is Vishnu or Ram or Krishna, if we don't see their forms, how are we to focus on them better? This is why we have idol worship, or the worship of form. Whatever we do, or eat, or wear, we always first offer it to the master of all creation. If a guest were to come to my home, I would feed him first, and only then would I eat. In the same way, if we are celebrating a festival and we buy sweets, then the first thing to do is offer it to the Creator himself, and then we partake of it as a prasad.
Today, worshippers bring sweets and marigolds to be blessed because it's Diwali. Diwali means Festival of Lights, and across the city people are preparing for this special time of year. Streets are being decorated, and traditional clay lamps or divas are being made.
The relevance of this has to do with the return of Lord Ram to his kingdom of Ayodhya after vanquishing the forces of evil in the form of Ravana. On his return, the inhabitants of Ayodhya decided to celebrate. In the evening, they lit up the entire city with lots of little lamps, and that is Diwali.
Modern Diwali is marked by the giving of sweets, but it's still very much a festival of light. The celebration illuminates the whole city. The traditional lamps are now joined by the noise and colour of fireworks.
We have 600 Hindu families residing in Preston and district, and they come from India and East Africa. They came here in the early 60s and 70s when they realized they needed a place where they could worship.
Initially, the community worshipped in a converted school, but in 1974 they built a new temple.
The new temple was a vision of the Hindu community. They wanted a center where they could not only just practice their religion, but also offer cultural, social, and other activities which would benefit not just individuals, but also the members of the host community. We follow Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma means it's eternal religion. It covers everything and it encompasses everyone. We have all the images which a Hindu would follow. It is customary for a Hindu when he enters a temple to bow to all the deities who are in the temple because they are treated equally. There are certain groups who begin to follow certain leaders or who have sort of inspired them to move in that direction. So there is no issue about having a conflict with other groups. We believe that all paths lead to God, and whoever serves God through different means still achieves the same goals as he would do otherwise.
A short distance away from the Gujarat Hindu Centre is the Swaminarayan Temple, a converted Jewish synagogue. The community was established in 1974.
We're in the main sort of focus of the building here, the main shrine of the Swaminarayan Hindu Mandir in Preston. As you see in the central part, we have the Lord Swaminarayan right in the middle, obviously very majestic. You would expect one in that position to be covered in decorative, all the, the jewelry, the ornaments. We have a hierarchy of the spiritual masters, the gurus. This is the deity of Lord Krishna and his consort Radhaji. And again, they are incarnation of Lord Vishnu, and we respect Lord Krishna as the incarnation, and hence he's in our main shrine.
Kailash Parekh was born in East Africa and came to England via India when she was 5 years old. Her family were converts to the Swaminarayan movement.
When I was in India, we weren't actually Swaminarayan. We were followers. Well, my family had, Lord Shiva. They were following Lord Shiva. They were following Krishna, Ram. So we had all the deities in our shrine. My father was in search of a true guru. Like in the past, he's had many where he wasn't spiritually satisfied. So basically, when Prabhu Swami Maharaj first visited Preston, it was just like a magnet, and he immediately accepted Prabhu Swami Maharaj's guru. And from that day on, we actually followed the Swaminarayan Hindu movement. I believe being a Swaminarayan, you're much more disciplined in terms like your diet, your rituals, and your behavior as well, because we lead by example of our guru, and so therefore we are very cautious, to adhere to our dharma. Our dharma means the righteous way. And so we have certain regulations, coming to the temple every Sunday we must attend, where the other temple, they don't have a set time. People can come walk in, walk out, basically. But with the Swaminarayan Hindu community, we must meet every Sunday as a family. And in our Shiksha Prithvi, the code of conduct, it says we must respect other gods like Lord Ganesh and Lord Shiva, Hanuman. So in the other temple, there are all those deities there. So when I pass, I always pay my respects. I go in and I pay my respects.
Kailash's daughter Neetal is a student.
Being a British Indian, we're living in a Western world trying to lead an Eastern life, because basically our parents want us to preserve our tradition and our roots in India. But then again, when I go to uni and if I'm there in a Punjabi suit and talking Indian, talking Gujarati, I'm not going to be able to fit in, and there's just not going to be a balance. So it's really important for us to have a balance.
Keeping a balance between strict religious discipline and peer pressure can sometimes be difficult.
We're not allowed to drink, smoke. It's not hard for me because I've been brought up not doing it. And when I do go out with my friends, they smoke and drink. And they're always like offering, oh, come on, you might as well. But I have to keep firm. I have to say, no, look, I don't want to do that. It's against my religion to do that.
I believe the Swaminarayan Hindu community has actually laid a very strong foundation for those younger generation. In fact, the changes I see coming is more development, more focus, more stronger in their faith. And that's the future.